Hey guys, can you guys hear me? Hello. Hello. Hi. Let's just wait for a minute for people to join. Hello. I got my cup of coffee here. Hello, I'm good. How are you guys? Wow, there are many of you. I'm gonna make my coffee. Good morning. Where are you guys? Good morning. Anybody here at nighttime? Philippines. Ohio. Sydney, Michigan. Nice. Texas. Toronto. Yay, Canadian. Oh yeah, hi. Yeah, I saw you at Shibuya that time. It's so funny. California. Yay. Oh, lots of people from the US. Brazil, cool. Hello. As you guys can see, I'm in my yukata. It's so quiet and nice here. Oh, Osaka. I love Osaka. I miss going to Osaka. Yay, Vancouver. Wow, you guys are from all over the place. You used to paint landscape here in Hakone. I know it's so beautiful here. I'm in Hakone, in Tokendai. Breakfast? I just ate breakfast in 5 minutes. And I had eggs and sausage, not quite Japanese, but it was really good. Where am I from? I'm Canadian, but I'm Chinese Korean. And I lived in the States for many years. So I'm from all over the place. I'm actually gonna go film another Muji video. Actually, the weather here is perfect. We got lucky because in Tokyo was really, really hot for a while, but these days it's really perfect weather. It's a little bit humid, but it's very nice. Especially in Hakone, I think here it's a few degrees colder than Tokyo, so it's quite nice. It's not super far from Tokyo. If you take the romance car, you can get into Hakone Yumoto Station in about 85 minutes. So it's pretty fast. It's like a day trip if you want some relaxing time and go in the onsen. It's really nice. Rain? Actually, it is raining season right now, but we're getting lucky and we haven't gotten so much rain yet, but we'll see. It was supposed to rain like all week, but it ended up only raining once. Where in Canada did you live? In Quebec. Favorite type of ramen? Well, my favorite ramen is Ichiran for sure. I've tried so many, but nothing has competed against Ichiran. I actually went to Ippudo the other day, and I know Ippudo is like the favorite of many people, but I still can't have a better, I can't choose a better one other than Ichiran. Nothing beats it. Ramen at Odaiba? Which one? Odaiba is like one of my favorite places. I know some people probably don't even visit there, but I just love Odaiba. I can probably spend a whole week just in the different malls. You ever visit a cat cafe? Yeah, I went to Mocha Cat Cafe. I don't know if you guys know that. It's a big chain for cat cafe, and they have many different locations in Tokyo, and you can actually play video games and read mangas for free in there. Well, you have to pay to go in and stay, but if you are in there, you can play with cats and play Mario Kart and things like that. Super cool. Popular drink for locals and tourists in Hakone. I guess if you are here, you want some relaxing time and you probably want to drink lots of green tea, but I'm having coffee. I need my caffeine in the morning. Yummy restaurants for family friendly. There are a few. If you go to, generally the big chains are pretty good and they will actually put your strollers aside for you. But there's Nabezo, which is like the shabu-shabu restaurant. They have lots of space in most of their locations, so that's good. There's also another restaurant called Stamina Taro, which is all you can eat for yakiniku. So that one is also really nice. But I think they only have a location in Asakusa unless you want to go further away. Yeah, Saizeriya too. It's a family restaurant. Activities today in Hakone. Actually, we got here yesterday, and in Hakone, there's not that much to do. Like, it's not intense sightseeing. So basically, you go from transportation to transportation, and we took the romance car to Hakone Yumoto, and then we changed to the Tozan train, and it's a 40-minute really slow train to Gora, I think. And then from Gora, you change to the cable car, which takes 10 minutes. And then you change to the ropeway, which you can go really high. But then unfortunately, yesterday it was super foggy and we couldn't see anything. It was all blurred around us. And you're supposed to be able to see Mount Fuji and everything, but we couldn't. But today we're going to go take the pirate ship and try to see Hakone Shrine. Oh my god, Hawaii. How much Japanese is necessary? Do most people speak English? Actually, if you're just visiting, actually, even if you live here, you don't need Japanese. I can pretty much guarantee you that. It will make your experience better if you can read some, because some restaurants may not have English menus, or some stores may not have English signs, but generally you can get all you need with just English. Some people, they can't speak English, but if you ask them certain things, they will try to get help for you from other other workers or something like that. And some stores have like the translation service, so they will connect you to somebody who can speak English if you need to get errands done. Would you recommend visiting top to bottom during November? I would say yes, go from top to bottom. However, if you want to see the winter kind of snow time in Hokkaido, you might want to visit later because there's not going to be snow. I mean, they might, but it depends on where you go. I think Sapporo, November, it kind of depends. But if you want to see snow, go from bottom to top. But if you don't care to see snow, but you just want perfect weather, then go from top to bottom. The Futon song, oh my god, that's just a random song I discovered one day. And then apparently the penguin in that song is getting super popular here in Japan. And there are tons of merchandise with the penguin who's called the Kopen-chan. And you can find it at Loft and things like that. How's Tokyo in the end of September? It's still a little bit hot because I don't like hot weather. I much prefer cold weather. But weather in September, it's pretty nice. Is it easy to avoid nuts and nut oils when in Japan for people with allergies? I think it depends on what you eat, because some Japanese food are very low oil anyway. Like, for example, sushi pretty much has no oil, and depends on the method of cooking. Or if you eat something like shabu shabu or nabe, they don't need to cook anything with extra oil. So you might be safe with certain types of food. Kyoto. I love Kyoto. Kyoto is my favorite place in Japan and might be my favorite place in entire Asia. And especially Arashiyama is my absolutely favorite area in Kyoto. Is it hard to get a job in the art field in Tokyo? It depends on what you want to do. If you want to teach, I think you will be okay. But if you want to kind of freelance and like do artwork, things like that, that might be a little tricky, and you probably need some Japanese skills just to get around. McDonald's French fries. That I'm not too sure. Fried in peanut oil, I don't know. Do they use different oil in different countries? I have no idea. Oh my gosh, I just got a bunch of commenting ones. I meant Jojoin? No, I have not tried that restaurant yet. What would you recommend to do in Japan that only local people know about? I think it's very popular for people to go in parks and just kind of enjoy their time. Most people that are out are either families or groups of girls. Mostly you will see groups like that. So family or groups of girls, and girls usually just go shopping and go to restaurants. But for families, Ueno is a very, very popular area, and you may think it's very touristy, but actually a lot of locals go there as well. It's Kyoto mostly farmland. No, in the city it's actually just like any other big cities. Nissan factory in Yokohama. Cool, I will check it out. I still haven't really had a chance to visit Yokohama. Do I watch anime? Yes, I love anime. But depends on what kind of anime. My favorite ones are like One Punch Man, Attack on Titan. I just watched, the last one I watched is Fate, which is really popular right now in Japan. You can see so many different mangas and character goods about Fate. So nice to live here. So many things are designed to make you as comfortable as possible, and people are extremely nice, always accommodating to think about you, and the service industry is extremely good, and you get served super well, but you don't have to tip, which is really nice. What do you call a sushi restaurant that serves sushi in trains rather than in conveyors? I think they're all called the same. I don't think here there's much of a difference. You just kind of have to go to the ones that do trains. What are the favorite local dishes? My favorite local dish is sushi and gyukatsu, which is like fried beef. And inside, it's very, very rare. And then you get a hot stone plate and you can cook the meat by yourself. But I don't know about local people. I think like conveyor belt sushi, for example, it's kind of like the fast food here. So it's very popular among locals. After they get off work, they would go to conveyor belt sushi. Do you like Japanese manga? Yes, but I wish I had more time to read it. What's my favorite J-pop group? I don't know too much about J-pop, really, and I feel like K-pop is actually getting more popular here in Japan. They travel around. it's always really easy to get to places in Japan because their transportation system is really, really good. So you don't have to worry about traveling around. How many languages do I speak? I speak Chinese, which is my native language, and then I learned French when I moved to Canada, and then I speak English, obviously, and I speak a little bit of Japanese and a little bit Korean. What's the cheapest but good meal you can get in Japan? Go to chains like Yoshinoya, Matsuya, things like that. They have gyudon, which is a beef bowl. So you get rice on the bottom and then sliced beef on top. Sometimes it goes as little as 350 yen, I think. And they also have other items that are almost about the same price. And you can eat really well for between 350 yen to 800 yen, which is probably the cheapest. Or you can just go to convenience stores and pick up onigiri, which is about 100 yen to 150 yen each. And you can eat pretty well if you spend 200-300 yen. If you only speak English, will you be fine in Japan? Yes. But it would be good to learn, at least try to read hiragana, katakana, things like that. But you'll be perfectly fine without knowing any Japanese. Reserve restaurants. I would suggest that you reserve any restaurant you can possibly reserve in Tokyo because you never know. Sometimes it gets really, really busy, be a holiday or something like that. Favorite scary movie? I don't know what's my favorite scary movie, but I watched Babadook. I don't know if it's a popular horror movie, but it was. It left a great impression on me. I wouldn't say I loved it, but it was good. It was a good horror movie. Safe and good hotel chains. Recently, I've been staying at Airbnbs a lot more. A couple of years ago, I basically only did hotels. And even though there was Airbnb, I didn't really use it very much. But these days, I much prefer Airbnb, especially in Japan, because the hosts are really courteous. They're very nice. They provide you with as many things as you would possibly need. Good tonkatsu place. There's actually a place called Omotesando. If I can remember, I will try to put the name down in the info box below after I upload this live video. Which one do I prefer, Temples and Ferris wheel or Heb 5 Ferris wheel? I would say probably Heb 5 because you can hang out in that mall as well. And it's all red and it's very cool to look at. But there was a huge line when we were there. So you kind of have to go at a better time. How many countries did I visit? I've lost count, but I've been to Europe. I visited like France, Germany, England, Spain, Belgium, what else? Netherlands, many. And in Asia, I've been to China, Korea, Japan, Thailand, Malaysia, and obviously America and Canada, and also Turkey. And my favorite place to visit is probably Turkey and Korea and Japan. I'm not really wearing a Japanese costume. Like the kimono is kind of just a yukata robe that the hotel provided. So it actually doesn't look much different than the usual bathrobes. It's just gray, and then you can get a bow like this, and then you can tie it, and that's it. In Japan. Why are people in Japan so busy even with all the technology? The problem with Japan with the workers is that it's not that they work so much. They stay in the office for a long time. They have a long day, but it doesn't mean that they're doing work the entire time. If you go to office buildings, you will notice that people take breaks a lot. And the work culture here is very different. And the work culture is that you should leave work as late as possible to show how dedicated you are to the company. However, it doesn't mean that they have that much work to do. So during the day, they would take breaks a lot and kind of do their work slowly. And then they would actually do their work starting from like 5 p.m. or something. So even though their days are long, it doesn't mean that they're doing work in. They just have to stretch out their day to be able to stay in the office because the work culture here doesn't let you go home early. Do I know any kaiseki place in Kyoto? I went to one, again, if I remember, I will try to put in the info bar of this live video later. Bathhouses in Japan. I've only been to the bathhouses inside ryokans. For example, this one I stayed at before, the one I stayed at called Yugiriso in Hakone. And they're all very nice. They're all pretty much similar, and you just get kind of different environments. And there's a onsen amusement park in Odaiba, which I really want to go. And if I go, I will film about it and tell you guys about it. What's the nightlife in Japan? What are some customs? Do you recommend for adults and kids to learn before going to Japan? It's not very difficult to travel to Japan. Like, there aren't too many things that you have to worry about. Only small things, like maybe when you travel, try to avoid rush hours. When you're on the train, try not to talk too loudly or talk on the phone, because people in Japan on public transportations, they're really quiet, like pretty much silent. And when you go pay at stores or convenience stores or restaurants, they always have a little tray. So instead of handing the cash or money to the cashier, you should put your money on the tray and then they will take from the tray. I think that's like probably the one thing that I would tell people to do, because sometimes you get a little bit confused if you hand the money to them. So put the money on the tray and they will take from the tray. Do I like mochi? Yes, I love mochi. I love that kind of texture of food. Have I been to Fukuoka? No, I haven't yet had the chance, but one of my friends is from Fukuoka. Am I Japanese or Canadian or both? I'm Canadian, and I'm not Japanese. I'm Chinese Korean. Country to visit. Japan is probably the safest country to live in as well. There's pretty much no crime here, and anytime you lose anything, you can pretty much always rely on getting it back, either immediately because someone is going to chase you with your things, or they're going to hand to lost and found. Like a couple times I've forgotten my wallet and things like that, and people always give back to me. Do I play video games? Yes, but I haven't played in a while, so I'm looking for a new game to play. Did I feel the earthquake in this area? Actually, there was a bad earthquake in Osaka a few days ago, but fortunately, we didn't really feel anything in Tokyo. But you do get pretty frequent earthquakes in Tokyo. You kind of feel the shaking, but it's not too bad, and you kind of get used to it. There were a few times that I was awake during the night because of the earthquake. It kind of wakes you up, but it's not too bad. You're considering buying a condo in Japan? My favorite area, if you can manage it, try to find somewhere, buy one as close to the subway station as possible. But I would consider like the Ueno area. It's very nice and it's very quiet, a little bit out of the way, but it's very easy to get to anywhere. If you want busy places, near Shinjuku, it's very convenient. Personally, I would probably want to live near Akihabara just because that's like the area I like to hang out in. It has all my favorite restaurants. It has all the arcades that I can play at, and animal cafes, and lots of themed restaurants, which is really nice. Cool weather down there in summertime. Actually, in Japan, it's really hot. It's not hot yet. Right now it's June, it's the raining season, so it's not that hot yet. But August, it gets really, really hot and humid, and honestly, it's kind of miserable during that time. But it's only about a month and a half or 2 months of that weather. Uh-oh, the comments are going so fast now. What's the thing I like the most from Japan and the one I like the least? What I like the most is just people are extremely helpful and things are designed in a way that makes you the most comfortable and most you. And transportation here is amazing as well. What I like the least is how long it takes to do any paperwork. I would say people here can be more efficient, but things just take so long to get done sometimes. But if you're just visiting, you don't run into that problem. Really, it's kind of just an issue when you're living here. You just have to take a big chunk out of your day if you need to get anything done. Would you be okay using debit card, or should someone get cash to shop? If you go shopping, unless you go to those extremely personal boutiques, small boutiques, you are fine with debit cards, because most stores, the big stores, they all accept cards. The issue comes when you go to restaurants. Many restaurants don't accept cards, so you kind of have to watch out for that. I would say it's 50-50. Some restaurants do, some restaurants don't, so you should always have some cash on you. Big Echo, I think I see Big Echo the most for karaoke, but I don't know if it's the biggest chain. How do I compare Japan and Canada? Japan, it's much more lively. I mean, it depends on where you live. But if you're in Tokyo, then Japan is much more lively, much more busy. Canada, it's a lot more quiet, a lot more relaxed. And of course, the weather is extremely different. Pushing, I love Pushing the cat. I love many characters. My favorite is Rilakkuma, but I like Gudetama. I like Pushing the cat. Now they came out with Pushing the dog. It's called, I forgot it came out as well. It's better to buy makeup at Daiso or in Korea. That's very different, because Daiso only has very limited makeup. If you need to buy makeup, try to go to drugstores or Don Quixote or something like that. And to be honest, before I much preferred using Korean cosmetics, but nowadays I much prefer Japanese cosmetics. Can I reserve seats when I buy Nozomi? Or yes, for Shinkansen, you have to tell them that you want to that you want reserved seating. Unless you are coming during an extremely popular time like the busy holidays, Golden Week, things like that, you generally can just buy your tickets right before you go on the train. And it's probably better that way because you don't waste your ticket if you're late. But yes, you can also reserve them online. Was it easy for you to make new friends in Japan? Actually, it's not too easy. If you don't already have friends here, you might want to stay at share houses, somewhere that you can meet people, because you don't get very many opportunities to just start talking to somebody randomly because they're quite reserved. Can you give a quick acknowledgement to someone when you walk down the street? Do you mean like say hi to somebody randomly in the street? I know people do that in the US or Canada, but it's extremely rare in Japan. People mostly just keep to themselves and they probably wouldn't want to be bothered. They will probably just ignore you if you kind of like smile at them or something. But if you're living in an apartment building, people do say hi to each other all the time. Actually, that's the norm. So if I see my neighbors, I would definitely say hello or good morning or something. Why did I move from Canada to Japan? Actually, I was living in the States at the time, and I moved to Japan from the States because I just wanted to try a new lifestyle, try living somewhere else when I still can. Isn't the train amazing from Tokyo to Hakone? I know. Did you take the romance car? The romance car is so smooth, and I mean, all the trains in Japan are great. If you take Shinkansen, it's the same. It's super clean, super spacious, super comfortable, just extremely nice. If I could choose one city in Japan to live rent-free, who's gonna give me rent-free? I would love that. Where would I live? I would definitely choose Kyoto, my absolute favorite city in Japan, at least within the areas that I've been to. Would I like to visit Philippines? For sure. I actually wanted to go during Golden Week this year, but I didn't get a chance because I actually had to work. Guys, thank you guys so much for your support. I haven't been able to upload as much as I wanted to these past couple months, but I'm getting back to it now. I've already filmed a bunch of videos. I just have to edit them and upload them. Are there a lot of street markets in Japan? It depends on where you go. Like, for example, in Omotesando, there is a farmer's market every weekend. But if you go to Asakusa, there are many street vendors. But it's not super common because I think in Japan, you may not be allowed to sell things in the street in many areas. Yes, I speak French because I'm from Quebec. Do more monthly favorites. I will. I actually did a spring must-have and favorites. I filmed that already. That may be my next upload. And then I combined my April and May favorites in that video. And I'll go back to monthly favorites starting from this month. Does Yelp work in Japan? It does, but it's not very common. That's and most of the reviews are only by people from the US. Yes, Japan's definitely very, very safe. You do not need to worry about your safety. Like even as a girl, I can walk down the street after midnight alone, no problem. What type of food do I like to cook? I cook like it depends on kind of what I feel like, but generally I make sandwiches, ramen, like a Korean barbecue / yakiniku at home, and also nabe pot, like you cook a bunch of things in a big pot in broth, which is really good. Thank you guys. Oh, you're going to Japan in October? Aiming for Akihabara. I love Akihabara. If I can live, when I first moved here, we went around to see all the different areas, but we didn't get to see Akihabara much because we didn't really know about it. And after we discovered that area, we just wish so bad that we could live there. Is August 20 to September 5th high season for visitors? I would say no, because there's no Japanese holiday. For tourists, a lot of the expats that live in Japan actually go away in August. That's their vacation time because the weather is so hot. So I think you'll be okay. I expected a lot more people during the summer, but I don't think summer is too bad for traveling. You actually want to avoid the Japanese holidays because Japanese people travel within the country during the holidays. What is my current sunscreen? Is the Biore Aqua Rich sunscreen, my absolute favorite. Good recommendation to visit in Kyoto and Tokyo. I will be doing a bunch of videos about Tokyo. And for Kyoto, I already have a video up, so make sure to go check that. But for Tokyo, I'm actually filming a bunch of them for each area there as a tourist. So, which place do I recommend best in Tokyo? It kind of depends on what you want to see. I would suggest going to places like, if you haven't been to Hakone yet, definitely visit Hakone. It's beautiful here. Go to Odaiba, Akihabara, but it kind of depends on what you like and what you've done before. Honestly, if I came here, if I wasn't living here and I visited Japan again, I could just stay at the arcades all day. How's the road condition? Is driving difficult? Actually, driving is pretty easy here. You kind of have to get used to driving on the wrong side if you're from countries that drive on the right, because here they drive on the left. But once you're used to that, after you drive for a little bit, you'll be okay. All right, guys, it's almost time for me to check out. So I will end the live video here. I will try to upload much more from now on. I have a bunch of videos filmed, and I just have to edit them and upload them. So stay tuned for those. And I will try to do another live again sometime in the future, and I will let you guys know. I'm gonna go check out, and I'm gonna go on the Hakone pirate ship and go visit Hakone Shrine. And I try to follow me on Instagram if you can. I will upload some stories on there and pictures, so you can follow me much more up to speed on Instagram. All right, guys, thank you. Bye bye.